Namaste to the audience who is listening to this, attending to this video. Most of you are amazed by the benefits of genetic brain profiling, and they keep and come back and give me the feedback. This is a good session, very good. Today, I have the person who is behind all this genetic brain profiling, the phenomena I call it as such, or the tool which is there. And this person has dedicated his life for this very purpose. I have Shri Ratna Swami here with me. Sir, namaskar.
Namaskar.
Sir, I will start with the first question here, my curiosity for the benefit of people. What is so special with genetic brain profiling that you chose to make it a mission for your own life?
Thank you, sir, inviting me and wanting to have a small conversation with me. I appreciate the interest in knowing more about me and the work that I'm doing. I heard that there are two dates important in our life. One is the day we are born. The other is the day we find out why. So I should say I have dedicated my life, but this is the second life I have got. So I should say the first life was lived like anyone and everyone. But this second life that I have got, thanks to the genetic brain profiling, I figured out what is my mission in this planet. And this was something for a very long time, I should say, was in my mind that why am I being different from others? Why I am not able to be very conventional? Any thought and every thought comes into me. It comes with a kind of weirdness. I myself figured out it is weird, but I really don't know whether somebody else has to change to become me or I should change to become them. But there was a kind of distance between me and myself and me and the rest of the planet. There was something that was missing there. So when I was 48, I came across few people in my life. Probably that was the time I think the universe found it is the right time that it should show me a new dimension of life. And I was reborn at the age of 48, to be precise. And it was not really, an ecstasy, moment of ecstasy, or suddenly the world did not change to me. But then the validation of this tool by applying it to many other individuals gave me an insight of myself. But because even in the work I was doing, I was not doing a conventional work. So something said to me that probably you have a different kind of way of looking the life into. And that probably felt me that I should explore a little more. And I'm always a workaholic. So this work came and I have become more workaholic than what I was, because this is what I am made to go through. I won't say this is the best or not, but because we don't know. But it looks like much more interesting and regenerating to me. And I found myself discovered in a vague land. Now I am trying to find out which direction I should go. But it looks like whatever direction I go, life is very interesting to me. And I hope probably this should be my rest of my life to travel this journey in this birth, in this planet. Yes, sir.
In fact, if at this age, life is interesting, so many youth must be inspired with this to know that, because for vast majority of population,
Yes.
they really don't know themselves and the connection with the world, as you rightly said. And as you very rightly said, the validation of few things. But
Right.
typically, when we come to the evidence base,
Right.
we take a sample size of say 100 or 200 kind of things, and then we put out a reading or research workout.
Right.
I've seen with the genetic brain profiling, the kind of tenure or the time you have given, it must be around 15, 20,000 individuals, and so many
Right.
testimonials and feedback which are there.
Right. Right.
So what
Right.
is that one thing which every individual must do genetic brain profiling for? What is that one thing which could be of a, say, since every individual is different, but what is that reason why one should do that, get the genetic profiling done?
I think without genetic brain profiling, after my busy business, career, personal, what your workaholicness that I had with business, I would have become very crazy, because the minute I came back to family, wanting to stay with the family, I found out that I could have been very frustrated. It could have been very frustrating for me had I stayed with my family for till I became 48. So all the time it was more like a loner. It's like wandering in many places, but staying away from the domain that I'm not very comfortable, not very well versed, not very competent to handle that. I think, fortunately, I should say that workaholicness made me busy with the whatever work I was doing, and I had no reason to, I had no, compulsion to deal with human emotions and relationships and all. I think I got escaped, rather, I should say. But the minute I gave up that work and business domain and started to stay with the family members, then I realized that I think there is something else is troubling me, being here. I think without genetic brain profiling, I would have probably gone on a solo trip, not to come back again. But then I think genetic brain profiling told you yourself is a crazy fellow, so don't judge people by your standards. Everybody is fine with themselves. So a statement that came to me for kind of an acceptance is, I am not okay, then why, how can I say somebody else not okay? When I say I'm not okay, that means it is not easy for others to understand me. I just try to understand others, because they live a different dimension in life. You live a different dimension in life. So it's better not to have any comparisons there, and just go through accepting them. But it is not easy, I know, because our brain designs are default settings, and whether it is fault or not, we will not know. But then that's something that comes to us effortlessly. Our life, the physiology of our body is built in such a way that anything that consumes the least energy in our life will be happening to us. It's like an automated program, it will happen. Okay, so why somebody will spend some energy to change the system, falling on the default settings or the default design that is happening there. So if you ask me, the numbers did not really, contribute a lot to my conviction. It is more of my personal day-to-day basis interaction with my family members, and I am probably having more complexities in the family in terms of my spouse and her parents. I think this itself is a very tough question, tough design to understand. I think the more and more I got into understanding the outside world, the life around me, the next person around me, I think I started accepting them. I think that was a greater validation than what
Mm,
testimonials and other things can give. Because
mm,
testimonial people can give even with the slightest benefit to them, they can say my old age changed for a lot, because that
mm,
is their way of validating or perceiving the change and difference that comes into us. So discover yourself happened. Then I start living the change.
mm,
Okay. The every day the change was perceivable. What happens to me inside and what happens to them, and what is the middle ground that I should be treading. And I think that was I think for a brain design of my capacity, that was a really tough homework I had to do. So that made me to go deeper and deeper to understand, is that changeable? Is that something we can work on? Why somebody will change if there is no compulsion? So I think I must admit, in the last 13 years of my fingerprints analysis and genetic brain profiling, almost like 12 years of completion, I think it's quite, it has given me a quite a lot of uh, changes that my brain has gone through. I was not this person when I discovered myself, but I think I have traveled a lot. I don't know whether this is the direction to travel, but changes have been very, very abundant in nature in me. And I think I am living the change. Okay. Because the change is live. Okay, that is it. The life is going, our life is going on a live program. It's not recorded and telecasted. It's an
Mm,
online
mm,
continuous program. So the change is continuously happening, and I am living the change. That means I am accepting and going through it gracefully. That's probably two dimensions of genetic brain profiling that has made an impact in my personal, what you can say, digestion of this data, and trying to live through it, and understanding what difficulties that come in bringing some change, and how much change can come, and why should we change. I think
mm,
if you look into life, people say you should live your life. If you live your life, how can you change? Because then you can't change you can't live in a sharing, caring relationships, and all. It is not very easy unless otherwise you have a very high level of metacognition to
mm,
really understand, look into people. It's like not judging people, just see them as they are, because our brains are bringing a mask or bringing a different type of perception to us. We can only live what we are experiencing. So
mm,
we don't know where to start and where to end. But it's
mm.
very interesting because this looks like a lifetime assignment that one has to go through. There is no end to this. Yeah.
Good, sir. In fact, very important thing which you mentioned are the two separate poles. One is the acceptance and other is the change.
Right. So,
And how do you see? Because typically in science or when we discuss the psychology or when we discuss human being, there are two aspects which always has been a part of discussion. One is the nature part of being, and other is the nurturing part of being. Like, how does genetic brain profiling helps for a child or for parenting in nature and understanding the nature and nurturing, be it in relationships or the various aspects for a human being?
right. Sir, all the living beings are connected to the nature. Whatever is happening in the nature is affecting us because we are closely connected with the nature. So, like people say, one butterfly stopping its flipping its wings can make a small impact in this planet.
Mm,
So, when that is the dimension, that is the power of the nature, and I think ultimately nature is the mightiest one. There is no doubt about it,
mm,
because we are here for a very short duration. We
mm,
cannot, we may impact on the nature, but it is not that we can have a control over the nature. I don't think that's something as an individual human being can do. But the
mm,
interesting part of it is when we are one component of this whole of the universe, which is part of, which is also contained in the nature. I think maybe we can say I added a drop to the ocean. It is true, but the ocean doesn't get changed because of your one drop. I think once this thought process comes into our heads, I think the acceptance will automatically come. And the good thing that happened with genetic brain profiling is we all go through suffering and
mm,
unwanted stress, and
mm,
then we come finally come because we have to live. There is a dependency is there. The independence is not that total independence is not possible. So we
mm,
are somehow compelled to stay together because of a cultural bonding, because of a relationship genetic bonding. Something is coming and binding us to go through it. So the acceptance is coming, but it's a frustrated acceptance after frustration of nothing can be done. So
mm,
let us not worry about it. Actually, that's what we actually do.
mm,
We are so much tired of trying to change, trying to correct the other person. And one day we say it's not worth it. But that happens only in your later part of life. till the body is strong, the mind is strong. You want to establish that you are the whatever you do is the right thing, because that's the nature of ego, that it does not want to surrender. So surrendering actually is a kind of acceptance. I think some people surrender to the compulsiveness. People surrender because it is a survival problem. Some people surrender because it looks like a better opportunity than what it is. Some people surrender because it is, I am happy with this surrendering. So that becomes more acceptable, more productive. But the problem and the difficulty is in not surrendering. Most of our life goes in trying to change, and that when the change is happening, even if the change is happening, then you feel, so what? It's all right, yeah, we have lived it. So I think the power of the body is one thing, the power of the mind is the number two, and the power of the universe, okay, the soul, or maybe how it is connected. I think somewhere we have to surrender, somewhere we have to give it up. But if you give it up voluntarily, then it is much more wiser than lose the battle and then do it. And once you know that you are going to lose only anyway, it's better to surrender early. But then it's all something that we cannot determine everything. I think certainty is in our life is only a drop in the ocean. It is the uncertainty that is very, very powerful. And we will have to surrender to the uncertainty, because human brain can only organize, but it cannot handle a randomness. That is how the nature and the universe, work together. Yes.
Sir, this one subject which we discussed is more of an abstract for vast majority of people.
Right.
For coming to the more concrete part, where people are more aspirational these days and more attuned outwards.
Right.
So there is one aspect of career and finance.
Right.
How does genetic brain profiling help any individual for in their career and finance and managing it? How does that operate, sir?
Sir, when the brains are changing, the world is changing. Or the world is changing, the brains are changing. So, okay. Collectively put together, we are changing the matrix of the universe, if not significantly, to small extent. But because human beings are continually changing the patterns of nature around us, it is actually causing some challenges to our brain also indirectly. Okay, for example, the solar energy that has come to the earth, the energy that came few thousand years before or 10,000 before here, the energy that is produced in the sun, solar system. Okay, let us take one sun. There is a deuterium breaking into the energy, like a fission happening.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there's a fission happening and a lot of energy is produced there. But remember, where does the waste in the sun will go? Okay, it's not, there is no place where you can dump it, like in human beings are dumping in outside their home, they are dumping. Like that, there is no home, there is no place to dump the energy, what we call the products of the reaction. Any reaction produces a reactant, the resultant, and there is an energy. The energy come to us, but what happens to the remnants or the byproducts, or the what is waste, we can call it in simple terms. So the same waste is again getting reaction. Now the quality of the reactants and the resultants are not the same. So that is why the quality of sunlight that is coming from the sun to the earth does not remain the same, sir. The light may be coming, the temperature may be happening, but the quality of the energy that is coming down to the earth, they are not same, sir. They might have some residual waste that it's like recycling of the fuel is happening, sir. Maybe it is so big, so vast reactants are there, so maybe it is not immediately bringing to the result. Okay, but definitely there is a recycling of the products, and the recycling of the products are happening. This is very important because that energy that comes from the sun is the source of energy for the whole of the planets, are actually, including other planets also, not necessarily only the Earth. All the planets are being impacted by the quality of sunlight that is coming from the sun falling on the planets. Now you just imagine if that quality of energy is changing. Okay, the constituents of the solar light, what we call solar energy, that we can say, the constituents are changing. And that is the reason why nowadays the global warming is happening. See, the global warming is happening because of the constituents of the solar energy is not the same like before. For example, earlier people used to go and stand in the sun so that the skin can produce vitamin D3. Now, if you go and stand in the sun, sir, your skin will get burned, sir. You will not get the vitamin D3, sir. Because the quality of sunlight that is coming from the sun is not having that quality to produce more D3, sir, the vitamin D3, which is supposed to be one of the most crucial component of our health. Okay, many of us, even scientists, do not know the impact that D3 can have. Similarly, any other supporting parameters of our life. Okay, so why I am saying this is, so the change is happening because of the change in the quality of solar energy. Thereby, it changes the quality of the universe, thereby the quality of the nature, thereby the quality of the human beings who are trying to do something with the nature. This has become a very, very complex one. Now, because global warming is happening, there is a lot of warming happening in our head. When warming is happening in the head, the human brain cannot allocate more energy to the body. It is allocating more energy to the brain so that it can cool down. So the brain is consumed. That is why nowadays children come with higher brain ability to perform, and more difficulties are coming on the body, the health, physical health part of it. So this is very important to understand the importance that we should give to the career or finance or wealth, whatever you can call it as. It is also has got derailed. Earlier it was work, that was the parietal lobe. Then it has become job, that is the temporal lobe. Now it has become a career, that is the visual lobe, sir. But human beings' journey is continuing, so it is going to be more and more intuitive within the head. The career will be more in the head, sir, not in the sensory lobes. And with the advent of the technology and the machines will do the body part of it, and the human beings will do the intuitive part of it. So why I am saying this is, now you have to re-look into the career and the finance and kind of thing in a slightly different aspects. Now I'll just give one example. People are digging the earth, taking the gold. Now people are accumulating the gold in houses. So yeah, it is not it's not getting transacted. Okay, like water and food, maybe any other material, it's not coming into the circulation. It's a kind of hoarding happening, smuggling or kind of keep it in a remote place is happening, sir. Now, because it is costly, people are going and digging again, sir. It is costly. Now, people has gone into this thing that if you buy this, it will get you money in the future. But actually, what we are doing is we are mercilessly digging the planet. It is going to change the topography, the demography, the constituent of the earth is definitely going to happen, to change, sir. This will in turn bring back different challenges to our brains, sir, actually. Okay, whether it is plastic or whether it is gold, whatever you do in this planet, you are not letting the nature to be staying in nature, sir.
mm,
So somewhere human beings will realize that career and finance, as long as it takes care of our survival,
mm,
that should be good enough, sir.
mm,
So I just want to give, maybe as on today, it would look more relevant, but 25 years down the line, I don't think there will be any career name you can name them.
mm,
People will have some talent, sir. They will
mm,
apply the talent, they'll get some rewards, sir. They'll happy with that, sir.
mm,
I don't see a 24 by 7 working or 30 days working, continuously weekdays working. All that will disappear, sir. Because without this uh, knowledge, without this awareness, if you just get in, when the child becomes 10 years, 15 years down the line looking for a career, the child will feel all the education that they did was actually not at all required there. So we may have to look the aspect of life. The one of the component of life is career. I think career will have to be relooked into. Uh, Not maybe an immediate decision you can make, sir, but for a little longer decision, it's not worth worrying too much about it. And probably when the time comes, see, I would say develop your skills, both
mm,
good and even not good,
mm,
because the skills and the strengths and the weakness, all of them are existing within us.
mm.
Okay, they get expressed only when you do something with that. Otherwise, it's like buying a gold and keeping in the locker, sir. It will not be shown. It will not get you anything.
Mm,
Okay, so similarly, we have to help children to figure out what they can do well, what they will struggle, and how it will become a life skill. And when you have to live your life, what will matter a lot to you, not what you know in physics and chemistry and mathematics. That nowadays, I think, with the advent of Google, education has become almost obsolete, sir. There is no.
mm, mm,
So I think I want this career, this question itself should be whoever is watching this, probably by the time they will also sense that, yes, this looks like making more sense, and then look into it. So, you go through your life, sir, career should happen. That would be my concluding
mm,
statement.
mm. Very true, sir. In fact, while in consultations, this has happened many a times.
Mm.
Like people come with a query of career, then we work out on something and leave it open. And it turns out with time, things have turned really good. So
Sir, if you
another,
take if
yeah,
you take Google Map and try to find out a place, you will still be very vague only, sir. But if you go there to the place, you will figure it out. That's an experience you should go into it, sir. But to get into the main, you should not get confused about the direction.
yeah,
But you go to the last mile. That
mm,
will happen with a smile if you go
mm,
in the right direction, sir.
yeah,
So the last mile will have to be figured out when you get there. But
mm.
the direction in which you should go, you must be having. I think to be put it in another way, if you don't go in the wrong direction, the right direction will happen on its own. That probably would be a better statement, sir.
Excellent. In fact, this is one challenge which people are really facing because they go more intuitive.
Right,
And I
sir.
always see it as, okay, what you know and what you experience, there is a huge difference in that.
Right.
And it is important to turn there. Sir, another aspect which is just next to the career and finance, which comes normally as a second to the people's priority, is the relationship and health aspect of it. That's again a closely related subject because it's
Right.
something happening to me which I may or may not be able to attend.
Right.
How do you see genetic brain profiling helping people in relationships? Say couple is there or family is there.
Sir, if you ask me, life is only relationships, sir.
Hmm.
Okay, in relation to what? That is the
Hmm.
question now.
Hmm.
Okay, money, there is a relationship. Work, there is a relationship. So how do we interact? How do we connect? How do we find comfortable? Okay, some people get married to the work. Okay, like that. So a relationship is, life is only relationships, sir. And only the dimensions are changing. The audience may be changing. The other side may be changing. But it is me my ego, myself, my feeling. That is actually connecting with around whatever we are there. So I don't want to just get into only one specific relationship. And if you accept this, then your relationship is starting with your birth, sir. It will end in your death only.
Yes.
Okay, because the life is the throughout the life, you are dealing with your servant, but that's a relationship, my sir. So I think there is one more saying is there that relation is all right, sir. That relationship is becoming painful, sir.
Yes.
The
Yes.
ship is the problem.
Yes.
Okay, if you relate with someone, it's not a problem. But if you build a relationship, then it's a bonding, sir, actually. Okay, then instead of boat, it becomes a ship, so heavier one. The more heavier you build, the more challenges, more difficulties, saving from drowning. Okay, so that is something I will say to start with. Relationship is life, and you have so many relationships, but all those relationships are, you have a choice there. In our civilization, only the couple, the husband and wife relationship is so committed. It's like promising on the God, okay, that I will commit, I'll give my commitment with this person. I think this is needed. If this was not there in this civilization, I don't think this world would have existed so long, sir, actually. So thanks to the civilization of this part of the world, there's a kind of making people to accept the other person even if there is a difficulty, because it is more important to fulfill your commitment, your promise, rather than anything else, Nasa. Okay, because like a job, if you continue to change, I think we all would have become fragmented human beings, and there would have been no civilization. So the civilization, the reason for civilization is staying together. Okay, and that if it is now is not happening or challenges are coming, that means somewhere the relationships are becoming difficult. Even in you take any relationships, it has changed a lot. But whatever is being seen on the husband and wife relationship is only blown out more because it's a promise made. So when you break the promise, the whole universe is shaking actually. Okay. In other things and all, you can still cover it up, but you have to be inside the cover, so you can't cover it up, sir. That's the problem.
Sir, very interesting aspect which you just shared. For these days, I'm getting a lot of in a age group of say 21 to 23, 24. I get many young adults, I would say, and who have multiple relationships, and their life is a huge mess.
Right.
And just because they are sensory, they are more outward, they are not connected within themselves. A huge set of challenges are there. So, in this case, how much a control one individual has on themselves, or it's a resultant of parenting, or both?
Sir, there are multiple dimensions to it. I don't know whether which one to be told first, but I'll just put it across. Let the audience figure it out, the sequence in which. Sir, first of all, the concept of this civilization is yoga, that is living together, sir, actually. If you don't live within yourself together, you cannot live in a society together. When the families are breaking, you are also breaking inside of you. The breaking is happening. But that to perceive that, actually, you need a mindset that was probably coming from the parenting and the parents' education and the elders and the scriptures. Lot more are contributing to the parenting, sir. It is not just one individual, another individual together. No, it is not. It is the social structure in which the parents are growing, are living, and then how the children are connected. For example, if the education system per se is trying to put in your head that you have to be independent, whatever happens to you, you should not you should not hesitate to break the system. This is what patriarchal society is all about. Okay, and who are you to ask me? I will live the way I want. A
mm,
typical male mindset is what patriarchal
mm,
society is. And fortunately for the planet, this
mm,
civilization is the matriarchal civilization. So here, the bonding together, that is the feminine qualities are actually.
mm, 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 mm,
Masculine quality is to break into pieces. The feminine quality is how to find a glue, how to gel, how to put together.
mm,
So the minute the decision maker in the family was changed from a male to female because of an
mm,
inverted educational system, I think
mm,
it's a very long few hundred years of our brainwashing happening. And the easiest thing in this planet is brainwashing, sir. It's very easy to brainwash.
mm,
You show him something that he is become busy with, then you can wash his brain. Even
mm,
without his knowledge we can wash. It's like giving a toy to the child and getting some difficult task without the child coming to know about it. Okay,
mm,
and that's the kind of thing that has happened to us.
mm,
And that is also very important, that has shaped our brains and thought process. Now
mm,
coming back to,
mm,
yes, it looks like the source is coming from sun, sir.
mm,
Okay, that comes and changes our life here.
mm,
What we eat decide determines what we'll think,
mm,
and what we will think by determined by the environment in which we are thinking,
mm,
and then all of them are put together. It's a very complex one. But one thing looks very clear,
mm,
that the last end game is coming, is seen visible in the with the current generation, sir. Okay,
mm,
but I will not say it's good and bad, because the game has to end. The movie has to come to end. You can't, even
mm,
Ramayana and Mahabharata has to come to an end, sir. So
mm,
similarly, the universe which has been here for millions of years, the cycles of Sanatana Dharma must have happened so many times, sir. So
mm,
maybe it's coming to one end. Maybe all new things will happen, and all that you consider very difficult to change will be changed in 1 second, sir. That is the power of universe. Okay, the universe can, just by one moment, it can change the whole world can be changed, sir, because it has come from nothingness. It can take to nothingness and again bring back everything fresh, sir. That's something beyond the comprehension of the human brain. Okay, so I would say, yes, many factors are contributing. One is the frontal lobe, the stability part of it, the fear part of it,
mm,
the what the world will say part of it, and what I will do if I don't get my parents' support. So
mm,
abundance is coming in many ways, sir. Brain neuron cells are coming in abundance, and
mm,
your cognitive computing power is coming in abundance, and you have wealth to buy anything and consume it is coming. Your
mm,
internal system is which is molded by 1 milligram to 75 kilos. All these
mm,
75 kilos of material has gone through what kind of quality of material you have put in, what kind of thoughts that were put in. I would say it's so complex. Anything one aspect, if we take it, will look very unfair blaming on one aspect, but it's a very multi-dimensional one. But it is true that current generation children, because of that basic qualities of domestication is not there.
mm,
Now
mm,
the urge to explore is very high. The curiosity part. Okay,
mm,
no animal does homosexual activities, sir,
mm,
but human
mm,
being is going to do it so aggressively in the days to come. And
mm,
I heard even animals, they don't spare. So they try anything and everything. If there is a hole, they just want to explore what is the hole there. That's a kind of human thought process there. It's not only meant for men, even women are like that, sir. They also want to see
yes,
how to have a relationship with multiple boys, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, are together parallelly. So even they think, the body is for enjoyment, but
mm,
they don't consider body is the temple in which the soul is living there. It is a expressing itself. So I think now that Google has taken control of the education, now
mm,
what the internet is giving an education is what is going to shape the children, not what parents live, what parents say, how the teachers are going to. I don't think it looks like a reversible change. It's an irreversible, sir.
Agreed.
Whether it is entropy or any energy change, it goes. So from a what you can say, from a compact life, it is now expanding, and if the expansion is happening, that means more chaos will happen. See, in an organized living, you follow your rule, you follow people who whatever he say, then your brain is not consuming too much of energy, sir. Now the people's life is so much disorganized, so much is turbulent. Their entropy is increasing, sir, because of the breaking of the system. And when the entropy is increasing, more randomness comes. Then there is no organized. It is more prefrontal qualities get expressed there. And people say one night stand, I will with one person. Why should I marry him? All that loosely bound is coming. Earlier, it was more like a covalent bond, sir. Okay, now it is becoming more like an ionic bond.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody is available, I can just go and connect with them. And that is happening because of this entropy increasing very, very fast because of the global warming. It is hurting this place, and warming is happening within our head. That means what? All the thoughts are coming, not an organized thought, more chaotic, turbulence, curiosity, want to explore, adventure. That is the adventure now people want to do. The adversity quotient is mind level adversity is happening, not at the physical level adversity. They call even in a small case, they will die out of stress, they will die. So the endurance is not happening, sir. That is the biggest problem. Whatever we are seeing now, it is all happening. Too much of mind overworking. That means overthinking. So it results into anxiety and so many health problems, which is the mind level illnesses, because body is not being used. So all the energy is going to the mind, and the mind is only working. For example, if you give a person a task, if it is a physical task, he will do for 6 hours. Only 2 hours out of 8 hours will be free for him. So even if he thinks about something outside the work, it will be only 2 hours, sir. Now people don't want to work only. So all the 8 hours is only thinking about what and all we can do beyond what we are doing. So I would say the abundance is the curse. Okay, too much of spoon feeding, born with silver spoon. Now parents are all mad of buying more spoons and giving the children the silver spoons. Okay, they want to even say not why silver, it's all gold spoon and platinum spoon. That's the mindset, sir. So that's also contributing to the explorative mindset. But this exploration is, for example, at the age of 5, 6 itself, you want to see how the reproductive organs are, how to, tamper with it, manipulate with it. It's all happening, sir, because the environment is showing all elderly people are giving kiss and hugging. So children also think, oh God, let me also try this small girl who is my friend, also see whether it's happening or not. Okay, I can tell you one thing, sir. When I was a 3-year, 5-year-old, 6-year-old child, I used to play this daddy mummy with my neighbor girls. But that was all about you go to work, you come for work, you make the food, let us eat the food, everything virtual, sir. But then you go and sleep, I'll go and sleep. That's all, sir. But today we know how the same game is being played.
That we see in consultation sessions, a lot of such games. In
Right,
fact,
sir.
as you rightly mentioned, the chaos is being observed in the design which we do when we do the see the UADs.
Right,
And
sir.
the role of prefrontal is again going up like anything. So that adds to that randomness which is there.
Yes, sir.
So now this challenge of chaos and that randomness, how should people see the education of a children like? And how can GBP help there?
Sir,
Because,
when the memory-based education system is going off,
mm,
okay, slow and steady, the
mm,
schools will go off, sir. I don't see any schools will continue to remain. If adult schools, there are all will be small scale, tailor-made to a set of type of children.
mm,
And that is how maybe multiple intelligence-based classes and schools will happen.
mm,
Not this traditional, you come, teacher will teach you. Because the
mm.
quality of teachers, what they communicate is much below than what children can grasp and communicate, sir.
Very true.
Actually,
Very true.
yeah, actually like the Sisya over, or what is say, um, overboarding the teacher is actually happening,
Teachers.
sir.
Mm,
So
mm,
I think that's going to be another challenge. So I don't really want to see the, because the frontal lobes where the memory, long-term memory issues are coming in.
mm,
This has
mm,
to be there, sir. Today, a big population is struggling because of the high memory, sir. Actually,
mm,
lot of people at the older age are struggling because a
mm,
lot of illnesses have come because of the memory, sir. Actually, because
mm,
they are not able to forget certain things and has become more compulsive in their life, and they continue to talk, and you will see in the future people will fight if you are talking to them. If you speak to them, it
mm,
will become a problem, sir. You can't go and say, sir, how are you? They'll
mm,
say, what is your problem? Why you are
mm,
asking me? What is your, you better take a, that is the kind of resistance will come to speaking, sir.
mm.
That is already started, sir.
We
See
have
what?
seen that in design. Agreed.
Yes,
We have
sir.
seen that. Mm,
Because then otherwise you tell me how at home everybody has a mobile, the TV is running, somebody coming home and going out also nobody will know, because nobody wants to speak to each other because they feel if I speak some issues will happen. So why to get into that? See, the relationship will stay together if you don't speak. Earlier relationships were getting more, bonding was happening with interaction.
mm,
Now interactions are getting reduced because that is not happening. That's because of the frontal lobe, that bonding mindset is not coming. You are
mm,
interfering. You, if you want, you go and take water. Why are you telling me to get up? Did I tell you when I want water? I went and drank on my own. So this is the kind of uh, issues will come that will actually make people be more independent and interactions will go. So I
mm,
see it might become a little more complex. We may not be able to tell a one straight answer here,
mm,
because as far as brain is concerned, it's like a whole, what you can say. It's like that Cadbury gem advertisement. You take one gem from that stack,
mm,
all of them collapse. So in our brain also, one component which is already stuck there, you remove it, it will go to chaos. What look like very well organized will get into totally distorted one. That is what happening to us on moment by moment basis. We look like we are all composed, well managed, and our emotional quotient, all the quotient seems to be all right. But
mm,
one thing that you touched and it can totally change it. I would say, in a way, it is good because you are able to change yourself when it is needed. So,
mm,
what I was telling, as far as the elders are concerned, is because they are so much programmed by their brain design. Now, no child wants to speak to their grandfather unless otherwise the grandfather is raised their thought process to the child's level.
mm,
And I see so many people, saying it's all right, okay, it is safe. Why are you taking risk? Be very safe. Don't try this one. And I
mm.
think many people are are living in the house like as if they are living in the graveyard cells.
So big issue. Yeah, I've seen
Yes, sir.
individuals staying in a family
Yes.
like tough
Yes, sir.
situation.
And
Mm,
the elders are telling, Mera din kab aayega, when I will go, this is not worth living. But they
mm,
can't go on their own. No, that's not possible.
mm.
And you tell them, why don't you close your nostril and you will die so that you got a freedom. But that's another big challenge. Nobody will do that. But they will say it is not worth living. I might better die. But they will not die. They cannot die like that
Well,
because the fundamental threat that is thread that is keeping us alive is the fear of death.
Yes.
So the FOD is the one we go to GOD.
Hmm.
If there was no fear of death, there won't be any God in this planet. There is no belief system will not come.
Good.
Because fear is a fundamental element of our life. It is not that maybe somebody has less fear and more fear, but you can't say any individual, I don't have any fear. If at all they say I don't have any fear, by this time they would have tried out something and they would have popped up. That also could have happened.
Hmm.
So it is very important to know that what has gone by is gone by, sir. I don't want to even look back.
Hmm.
Okay, because that's gone. Why are you wanting to stick to that? See whether you can be in the present tense. That is where the gift, the present, the magic is in the present. But one part of our brain is taking us to the past, and one part of the brain is taking to the future. So the key point is going to be an awareness of I see myself every moment. And then you make a decision about what will be the better. And for that, your core in your fingerprint must raise to the maximum heights. See, somehow I believe maybe it's a hypothesis as on today. Maybe the same video when we see after 2-3 years, we will have a different opinion. That is, there are three types of nadis are there. Okay, the Yada, the Pingla, and the Susumna.
Sure.
Okay, Susumna is the core, sir, actually.
Yes. Yes.
One is the Yada, the other is the Pingla, the one converging and the diverging, two processes. But unless otherwise this Susumna is raising upwardly, sir, all this converging and diverging will be in the lower level of human existence. Sir. Again, what? Feeling, emotion, limbic brain, and the brainstem. It's not going to the neocortex. So when I say neocortex is very important, that will make you okay. It's I'm there, I'm not there, I'm not there. What is the big deal about it? That can come only when your Susumna Nadi raises higher. And that can come only with a meditational practice, not only just sitting and closing your eyes. Starting from Yama, Niyama, you have to do all that steps. Today, children want directly go to degree, PG degree. That's meditation. Okay? But without doing the basic right, it is like you eat unhealthy food and want to be healthy. That won't really happen, sir. So that is the challenge. So totally the reprogramming of the brains will have to happen. I don't know, really don't know whether that should be taken, who will take, how much to take, who will like it, who will come with it. That's all going to be a big question mark. But if you ask me what is my next goal, I would say a child must be produced, programmed, designed. Okay,
Very true.
right from the young child, because every female, every male has the genetic material of so many generations ahead. And like how it is happening in the SUN, sun, is happening in the SON also. And that means the quality of material. It was so precious, but people are treating like saliva. Okay, the genetic material is supposed to be the most precious material of human beings, but people are spitting here and there and probably wasting it like our saliva. And obviously, that is why nowadays so many infertility centers, so many fertility related problems. I don't think human beings will be able to produce more human beings by delaying their marriage. You better take the genetic material when you are 14, 13, 14, 15, or maybe some 16. And once then you take the genetic material and then produce in the test tube, maybe a better child can be created. Otherwise, it will not be naturally produce a healthy baby is going to be a bit difficult, because nature's choice. See, in case of infertility center, they are using a system to remove all that unwanted and trying to figure it out.
Yes.
And then they are using some unethical ways of enriching the genetic material. God knows how much nature, the product is natural. Okay, so that is also a challenge for us now, and without taking a, see, it's like, there was a 5 meter cloth. You cut it and you made a shirt, big shirt, so that when something happens or you grow bigger, this shirt can be used. Then it was so big, then you cut it and made a smaller shirt. Then again it became worse, then you cut it smaller, some more. Now you are having only handkerchiefs, sir. Now how you can make a dress? Like that, only genetic material is getting shrunk, and obviously now. So you may have to again start the process. Whether you can do it in this cycle of life or maybe another cycle, we don't know. But that's what nature will do, sir. Okay. And what a human brain cannot comprehend is the kind of change that the universe can make in just flip. I think Shiva will take care of it, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So coming to this Shiva aspect of things,
Right, sir.
we, all of us know that as we are shrinking here, the other part of expansion is there, connecting with the larger Param Tattva. How does genetic brain profiling helps in spiritual growth? Because there are again aspects.
Yes, sir. Sir, it's an easier word to say, but it's a difficult word to comprehend, sir.
Yeah.
Because spiritual is 100% abstract. Okay. You try to comprehend with your sensory system, you will totally fail. You try to comprehend with your memory experience, concrete experience, again you will fail. And you try to catch it up, you have to leave this body to understand the abstract 100% abstract. And if you leave the body, you cannot come and tell what it was. Okay, so with these limitations, I just want to say, spiritual is actually salvation, sir. It's a spiritual word. When we say spirit, that means we have to evaporate. Okay. But some people, when they take spirit, they feel they are spiritual. Okay. because they have forgotten the basic issues, and also you are living for the moment. No? You are not worried about what others will think about you. What gender you are. Everything you forget. No.
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of things are forgotten, and that makes you a little more spiritual. So what I would say is, the more you are away from the frontal lobe, that is the stability, holding on to something, belief system. So if you believe in something, it is all right. But if you remain there only with a belief system, that's not going to help. So spiritual means you start with a belief, but you don't stay there. You want to reason out. When you look for reason more and more, that is the visual and the prefrontal, then somewhere it opens up a new dimension of abstract experience of life. So the frontal lobe also contributes to the spiritual by bringing in detachment, helping to disconnect. So it is our brain design. The entire 4 compartments of the brain will have to contribute to the detachment part of it. Okay, because converging is detachment and diverging is attachment, actually. So more and more you are having diverging. You know the universe, but you don't want to get out of that. You want to be there. So more diverging means I know I have to be here. I know it is problem, but I can't go anywhere. So you try to be there, even if it is just a mere matter of existing. You are not living there. The life has to grow, sir. Evolution is life, sir. Revolution is actually death. Okay, because you are not going anywhere. That means stagnation. Stagnation means you are dead already. Your cells are not producing. Because the minute new cells are produced, new brain cells will be produced, and everything will become new. You are evolving. So evolution for salvation, okay, or self-realization is what we are trying to say. Actualization. So spiritual is a word that whatever we say here, the individual will perceive that in a different way. That is why saints don't speak. Because when they speak, they're actually the other person is interpreting in a different way. And some of the aspects of life are not supposed to be verbalized. That's the big problem. Because when we are verbalizing, your temporal lobe is coming into action. So many other lobes are coming. So actually, you wanted to say something, you end up in saying something. The other person is hearing something, and he end up in understanding something. So that is our challenge. That is why I say, the less you talk, okay, even if it is a kind of an addiction, it is all right. But if the less you talk, the chaos can be contained. Maybe you are very vague, but it will not lead to complexities. Okay, it's like inside a room, you are going and doing everything around the room multiple times. Nobody will complain. But if you are sitting inside a room where multiple people are sitting, the same thing you do, people will open the door and push you out. That is why I say independently, individually, this introvertedness is very good. But in a social setup or a civilizational compulsions, I think that's little bit. So converging is detachment, and that means you are, unless you detach yourself, how can you go, how you can raise to a higher dimension of life? I think it is also connected with our energies, the chakra energies. The more we raise our energy in the Susumna Nadi, I think we can go a little upper, and then that's the spiritual experience. That is why we say everything cannot be taught. Everything cannot be given in a book. Everything cannot be demonstrated. That means sensory lobes are out. Now you go within. If you are living in your past, you cannot go to the future. But without understanding the past, you cannot go into the future. Will actually make you feel, why I am here, what I am doing. So there is an awareness of the past, being in the present tense, that will go to the future. So living every moment very consciously, that means what? Then the materialistic things chasing should be consciously controlled, or consciously it should be done. For example, that is what I am very happy about the future generation. Okay, children will not like to put in FD, buy gold, put it in safety, because for them a concert that is 1 lakh rupee ticket is worth buying, rather than worrying about taking loan for it and who will repay. They just want to live in the moment, sir. But fortunately and unfortunately, it's a bit confusing, because that is not a thought out decision. It's like somebody saying, we don't know whether we'll be tomorrow there or not, so let us spend every day today. That is all right. But tomorrow morning also, you should have the same level of, okay, nothing is there, it is all right. Yeah, one day if I don't eat, what is going to happen? So that has to come. So if you borrow from somebody and live your life, and that's going to give you pain in some or the other form. If you can make a living on your own and live, even if it is a very simple life, it's very easy. What we do is, we are complicating in life by using the 10 lobes put together. We should actually make it simplified life. And I don't know, my SAR is that simplified here at this one. I am trying to do anything and everything where it can be simplified, but it's not happening to my desire, but I am not giving up that. I will always try to be as simple as possible. But then in process of doing that, sometimes certain things are happening, but I'm conscious about, being careful about that as well.
That is the resilience part of you, and is something which is truly inspiring for me. In our regular interactions, I see that, and I take it as, okay, this is the strength. Please hold on. Coming to this, sir, this session has been a really beautiful session, sir. Thanks for your time. One last important question. I firmly believe that everybody should be their own coach. Now, if we are looking at giving this tool out to the world there, how easy it is for one individual to become a genetic brain profiling consultant or a counselor? Do we need some kind of this thing? This is for general audience. I'm asking this question.
Right.
How should one start a journey of being a genetic brain profiling counselor or a consultant, sir?
Sir, when an individual uh, decides or likes to desire to find out themselves. Many people think I am all right with I don't want to find out, maybe something else will happen and my life will be ruined. I don't want to open the cover and see maybe unpleasant things will be there. I'm very happy. So it's like staying with your makeup.
Mhm.
So we are preferring to go to natural severity and put a makeup so that our skin texture is not known to anyone and everyone.
Mm.
But you can't do that for a very long time. One day you get exposed.
Mm.
Okay. One day there is holiday for natural, so then your skin will get exposed. Right. So my way of looking at this would be find out yourself.
Mm.
Of course, somebody is helping to figure out yourself.
Mm.
Okay. Now you have to look into, are you sensory or
Mm.
intuitive? If you are a sensory person, move towards intuitive very consciously. But
Mm.
usually we know sensory people need instruction from others.
Mm.
They can't figure out on themselves.
Mm. Mm.
So they definitely need a tutor or a
Mm.
coach.
Mm.
They need a coach to tell, don't do this way, that will is a better way. Sir,
Mm.
I was not knowing this for so many days, I was doing like this. It's all right, no problem, you go ahead and
Mm. Mm.
so you have to see what kind of category that individual is falling in.
Mm.
Number one. So somebody is sensory, then definitely you have to go with the sensorial experiences, and the experience will matter to the person in the long run.
Mm. Mm.
Okay, because by validation, by doing something repeatedly, they come to know, yes, I am now feeling better. I will stick to that.
Mm.
So it will become a self-nurturing to some extent. But definitely they need somebody. Again, a new life experience is happening, they will need a mentor. So a
Mm.
coach or a mentor is all definitely needed for them, if at all their sensory neuron
Mm.
flux.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
not the indicator. It is
Mm.
the total number of ridge counts are put together, the neuron flux.
Mm.
That will determine whether this person is more sensorial or more intuitive.
Mm.
Then the intuitiveness comes in. Now again, you have two kinds of intuitiveness.
Mm.
One is the past guiding you.
Mm.
The other one is you don't remember anything, so you try everything new thing.
Mm.
Again, there is going to be a balance is needed. If somebody is not having good, that past memory, long-term memory is very good, they should uh, they should take a book, they should write down what they have to do, and think in case of difficulty whether they can figure out with their past experience an alternative method. It's not immediately you take a phone.
Mm. Mm.
You go and see your old books, notes, and I'll see somewhere I have written something, and then okay, this is I forgot, but
Mm.
then good, I figured it myself. So that is
Mm.
the second level of guidance will be needed, but that person is less dependent on the coach compared to the sensory
Mm.
guide.
Mm.
Then there is a prefrontal driven intuitiveness, abstract.
Mm.
Okay, when the abstract person is a self guide, sir, they don't need any mentor.
Mm. Mm.
Okay, they'll figure out what does it matter. So the spiritual quotient, the cosmic intelligence high individuals will figure it on their own because they are connected with the universe. Unlike the concrete experience and sensory, they are not connected with your past life and the sensory body.
Mm. Mm.
So you have a door that is opening outside. So
Mm.
you can just take one leap. Probably you will know all will get revealed there.
Mm.
Sir, what is happening in the frontal and the sensory lobes only are taking a lot of time, sir.
Mm.
But if you can detach from this past and even a little bit of present, you can see the future as if it is next door.
Mm.
But for that, all that the design the prints, the delta, the core, the Susumna Nadi's energy, all that will matter, sir, actually. So between to call something as spiritual itself, there are thousands of dimensions of spiritualness. So you will have to understand that. But we can say in general, but if you are goal centric, in your report, if you are goal centric, and that means what is your goal? Self-actualization is the goal. That is the human goal. But if you are conditioned by people around you that goal is something else, okay, or your brain design itself is like that it is still wandering for something else other than the ultimate goal. Like people say, I have to buy 2 cars at least, that's my goal. So they are all materialistic goals, as they are all temporary goals. But a goal which is encrypted in our brain is the actualization, self-actualization goal. That is why they said goal-centric. Okay, that the terminology is that your goal-centric is, the goal is not becoming rich and kind of stuff. Not promotions, not running companies. They are all materialistic goals. But one goal that you have to is mukti. Okay, pop up, don't come back again. And so many scriptures have talked volumes of literature, only helping us to know how to get out of this boat that is, sagar, samsara sagar. Okay, but then we are stuck so much with that stuff. We think that scriptures are all fake. You see how irony it is, or how unfortunate it is. People labeled it as myth.
Yes.
Our scriptures were told mythology. You see how they were brainwashed. And people are saying, no, that's all myth. No, don't trust it. You remember millions of years, if not at least 10,000s of years, at least thousands of years, if not hundreds of years, this civilization has survived. That means there must be a fundamentally something eternal must be happening. That is why Sanatana is called the eternal Dharma. Okay, that is something which is part and parcel of our existence. But we are so much blinded, so much duma, the smoke around us. We need a Dhumavadi to help us to come out of this duma.
Very true, sir. This session has been really insightful, sir. So many things you have shared, so many aspects. Right. Typically, we go with this, okay, this is one report, simple things are there, take whatever pick, it's like a buffet, pick up what one you like. But there is so much of complexity. Right. And thanks for bringing attention to all those aspects. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you very much for this wonderful session.
Thank you.